Hello and welcome back to Story of the Day for Friday the 15th of May 2020, and today we're returning to Grandpa's Great Escape by David Walliams, and we're going to chapter 52, Lost Marbles, after Grandpa has suggested they go and find the Spitfire again. No, it was impossible. The Spitfire was miles away in London, suspended from the ceiling of the Imperial War Museum. She was an antique and hadn't flown for years. Who knew if she still could? The boy had to think fast. If he was to head this off. Wing Commander? Yes, Squadron Leader. Let me just get Air Chief Marshal on the blower. As Grandpa looked over, the boy opened the door of a red phone box and stood outside the police station. Of course, Jack had no idea of the Air Chief Marshal. Instead, he tricked the grandfather by calling the speaking clock. It was an easy number to remember. 1, 2, 3. With the door ajar for Grandpa's benefit, he proceeded to have an imaginary conversation with the head of the RAF in 1940. Good morning, Air Chief Marshal. It's Squadron Leader Bunting. Yes, it is very late, or early, depending how you look at it. Ha 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 ha. The boy had never been in a school play, but was now having to act as convincingly as he could. On the other end of the line, the recorded voice spoke in Jack's ear. At the third stroke, it will be 2 o'clock precisely, followed by beep, beep, beep. Standing outside, Grandpa was mightily impressed that this young pilot knew their superior so well that they could share a joke together. I am with Wing Commander Bunting. Yes, sir, that's right, your bravest pilot. The old man was overcome with pride. Some wonderful news, he thought. Then Jack said, Fantastic, Air Chief Marshal. The winged commander has escaped from Colditz Castle. Yes, of course, it was an incredibly daring escape. He helped every last soldier, sailor, airwoman, airman out of that darned place. What's that? You say the winged commander needs to rest and recuperate and take some well-earned leave? Suddenly, Grandpa's expression changed. He did not like that one bit. And that's an order, sir. Don't you worry, Air Chief Marshal, I can tell him myself, said Jack, speaking down the phone to the speaking clock. So you were saying the wing commander should do a spot of gardening, read a good book, and bake an odd cake? Grandpa was not a man who could live out his days baking cake. Good grief! I need to get back on my Spitfire at once. It's my duty. Let me speak to the Air Chief Marshal. With that, Grandpa snatched the handset from his grandson. Sir? It's Wing Commander Bunting here. On the third stroke, the time will be 2:01 and 40 seconds, came the voice from the other end of the line. What's that, Air Chief Marshal? Yes, I know the time. You don't have to keep telling me the time, sir. The old man was mightily confused and replaced the receiver before turning to Jack. Sorry to say this, but the Air Chief Marshal has completely lost his marbles. The man just kept telling me the blasted time. Let me call in again, pleaded Jack, with a note of desperation in his voice. No, there's no time. We must go up, 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 and away. Part 3. One of our aircraft is missing. Chapter 53. Glory Days. Jack managed to convince his grandfather before they went up, up, up and away they needed to stop off for some rations. It was the early hours of the morning, and Jack knew that there would only be one shop open, Raj's newsagent's. In truth, the boy hoped the newsagent might be able to talk some sense into the old man. Ding! It was still early, but Raj stood behind his counter. He was sorting through a pile of newspapers for delivery, as he did every morning. Mr. Bunting, you're back, remarked the newsagent. He couldn't quite believe his eyes, after witnessing the old man being carted off to Twilight Towers by Miss Swine herself. He wasn't expecting to see Grandpa again any time soon. Yes, I escaped from the Jerry, announced the old man. Jerry who? Said Raj. The boy butted in. He means the Nazis. Before whispering, he thinks he's still in the war, remember? Oh, yes, of course, the newsagent said. We need some rations, quick, smart. Need to be back in my Spitfire before dawn. Raj's eyes darted to the boy for reaction. Jack shook his head a little, and the newsagent understood that this meant he and the boy needed to have a secret talk. Just help yourself, sir, Raj said to the old man, who proceeded to patter around the shop looking for something to eat. If you can find any food left, that is. Aunt Dehitri managed to break the door down during the night and scoffed everything in sight. She even took a bite out of the colouring books. The boy double-checked that his grandfather was out of earshot before speaking. I've just helped him escape from Twilight Towers. Was it as bad as people say? Worse. Much worse. Grandpa thought he was in Colditz Castle, and he wasn't far wrong, but now he wants to take the Spitfires to the skies. You mean the one from the museum? Yes, it's nuts. I just don't know what to say to who. Raj, please can you try and talk some sense into him? Raj let lots for thought for a moment. Your grandfather was a great war hero. Those were his glory days. Yes, I know, agreed the boy, but... As Grandpa was munching on a half-eaten chocolate bar he'd found on the floor at the far side of the shop, Raj held his finger up. But, why does there have to be a but? But, and another one. Your grandfather is a very old man. You know he's getting more confused all the time. The thing is, he has this thing eating away in his mind. A tear welled in the boy's eye as the newsagent said this. Raj put his arm around Jack's shoulder. It's not fair, declared the boy, and he sniffed back a tear. Why did it have to happen to my grandpa? Raj could be wise if he wanted to. Jack, the only thing that keeps him going is having you on his side. Me? Asked the boy. He didn't understand. Yes, you. Whenever he is with you, your grandfather is back in his glory days. I suppose so. I know so. Listen, I know it's nuts, but it's good to be a little nuts sometimes, right? Why not let this old man have his flight? Jack wiped away his tears with his sleeve. He looked up at Raj and nodded. In truth, now the boy had a taste for adventure, and he longed for more too. Jack had played being a fighter pilot with his grandfather so many times. Every night he had gone to sleep dreaming of being one. Now the boy had a chance of making that dream come true. Wing Commander, said the boy. Yes, Squadron Leader, replied Grandpa, completely oblivious to the boy's little chat with Raj. Let's take to the skies. And next week we'll pick up at chapter 54, which is Racing the Sun. We've not got much of the book left now. Look how much we've read. We've not got much left. Have a wonderful weekend.